Afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sirs.
Good afternoon, Ankit. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you.
You are good, huh? Ankit, you are going for your interview on 17 Jan, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a lot of time. That's very good.
Well,
Ankit,
good morning.
you belong to Orissa?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. How many generations back went to Orissa?
Ma'am, it was my grandfather's father who came to Odisha.
Okay. Okay. And before that was Karnataka? Where
No,
was
ma'am.
it?
It was in Haryana.
Haryana. All right. Very good. So this is which attempt of yours is this, Ankit?
Ma'am, this is my fourth attempt in total. This was my third
Mhm.
mains and second interview.
Oh, second interview. What happened last time?
Ma'am, last time my interview was very late. It was in May of 2023 itself. So it was.
Oh, it's really stretched. But it didn't go very well, or your
Ma'am, it
mains was
went.
not so good.
Ma'am, I got 180 marks, but my
Mhm.
mains marks were low.
And how have you done your mains this time?
Ma'am, my mains, I'm hoping for a significant improvement this year.
Very good, very good. That's very good. So you have done a project against child labor, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
That is wonderful, absolutely. So it's a very burning issue today.
Thank you.
And give me an example of some area where this child labor friendliness bit may be misused. I'll phrase my question differently.
Yes, ma'am.
Where advocacy of the rights of children against being used as laborers can be misused.
Ma'am, can I take some time to think on
You can
it?
think. But that's just the first question. I mean, more leads up to this.
Yes. Ma'am, one of the area where this child right advocacy can be misused is in the form of domestic workers, ma'am. The child labor phenomena is becoming invisible, mainly in urban areas and in the
All right.
domestic.
Well, that's the point. But I had a slightly different, I'll come out with it. You know, Germany and many other countries are looking at a label called green label or whatever it's called on Indian carpets that they have not been produced by child labor. What
Yes.
do you react to that? Should that labeling be done? Should it not be done?
Ma'am, in these developed countries, there have been a rising awareness regarding the issues of poor working condition and the involvement of childs in these industries, because of which the market of some of the products are going down. So for that reason, they have
I, of
introduced.
course, understand the reason very well, Ankit,
Yes, ma'am.
but I was wanting to understand what are your views on it. It's obvious, very obvious what they're saying. I asked you a question specifically, which
Yes,
was that they are having this labeling.
yes,
Do you agree that there should be this labeling, or do you not agree with this labeling? As in,
ma'am.
you're an Indian, obviously. You're not shall I say, a world global philosopher. You're an Indian. So, what do you think of this?
Ma'am, from my limited readings, I have seen whenever we want to tackle issues like this, I think the some sort of certification and labeling is good to tackle it institutionally. For example, ma'am, it has happened in forest smuggling also. Nowadays, lot of forest-based products are also being labeled that it is coming from authenticated sources. So labeling can help in further curbing the incidence of child labor.
Sir, sir, labeling in a forest smuggling the produce itself is illegal. Here, production of carpet is not illegal. It is the use of child labor. They're two different examples. They're not the same thing.
Yes, sir.
So
Ma'am,
you think basically that Indian carpet industry should not be allowed to function if children are employed. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying, right? That's what
ma'am,
you're saying.
ma'am, I think if the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act
Dekho,
meant,
if may come to the point. I'm
yes,
frustratingly trying to get you to a point, and for 4 minutes, 14 seconds, I've not been able to do it.
ma'am, I think if the law provides for the child labor, then we should not have any
All right.
problem.
My next question. Visualize you are a district magistrate in a border district of in a coastal district of Orissa. You can name the district. Which district do you feel comfortable talking about?
Ma'am, it would be Bhadrak.
Okay. So does it have a hurricane? And there is a hurricane coming in. The eye of the storm is going to be your district.
Yes.
What are the steps that you will take? Tell me 6 steps in sequence.
Yes. Ma'am, my first step would be the initial assessment, about the intensity of cyclone and the track which it will go through when it comes over the land. So I will consult the IMD and the local meteorological institutions.
You will not need to consult. They are giving you warning after warning.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
next.
Second would be, ma'am, to inform the other subordinates and the other members of all the blocks and tehsils in the district which are vulnerable about the information which I have got from IMD and the meteorological institutions, to be prepared regarding the same. Third, ma'am, my step would be to provide for the logistics to shift the vulnerable population residing on the coastal areas to the shelter homes. Ma'am, fourth would focus on the economic and livelihood of that region. So I would be giving special warning to the in the fisheries sector, and I would be informing the agriculture farmers who are involved in agriculture in those regions to take precautionary steps to protect their crops. The last step would be during the landfall. I will try to engage the local volunteers which Odisha has developed over the years for cyclone management, to check if there is anyone who is in distress and need help.
Thank you. Very good. In fact, Orissa has shown the way in its handling of cyclones. It's really no loss of life. It's done a wonderful job. Okay, you've done geography, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what are the gains and failures of COP28 for India, from India's point of view?
Ma'am, COP28 has been a significant event for India because India has been successful in convincing the developed countries regarding to balance between the environmental conservation and our development needs, being a
Will you be a
developing
little more
country.
specific? Just be specific.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for that, the final document which was released has changed the wording from phase out of coal to phase down of coal. Second, ma'am, the document on loss and damages fund has also been finalized, which started its discussion in the last COP. Um, uh, and third, ma'am, there was a renewable energy transition agreement which India for now has refused to sign upon because of our increasing need for the coal-based energy for ensuring our energy security, ma'am.
Is there any talk of methane? And how does it impact India?
Ma'am, there was a talk of methane, but I'm not exactly aware of the India's stand there. But methane is very important. The issue around methane is very important, considering 48% of our workforce is in agriculture, and agriculture is.
Obviously, the obvious stand is there. That's an obvious stand for us then.
Yes.
All right. But tell me, what is the difference between green, blue, and gray hydrogen?
Ma'am, the major differences between green, gray, and blue hydrogen is the method of production of these hydrogen and the emissions which they produce. So, for example, in green hydrogen, renewable energy itself is used to produce the hydrogen, and the byproduct is water and heat. In case of blue hydrogen,
in which hydrogen is byproduct water?
Ma'am, in green hydrogen.
That's a byproduct. Okay.
And ma'am, in blue hydrogen, I believe the fossil like the gases which are released are captured through some device. So that is there. And in gray hydrogen, the fossil fuels produces the emissions are produced while producing hydrogen.
All right. So what are the issues? We launched the green hydrogen mission. Obviously, that's the most environment friendly.
Yes,
it is incidentally done with the electrolysis of water.
Yes,
it's used the water. So what are the key challenges in that? Just name 3 challenges.
Ma'am, one of the challenge is the nature of hydrogen itself. It is very flammable, so we have to develop a storage equipment
Mhm.
which is non-corrosive and which is stable.
Yes. What
Uh,
else?
Second, ma'am, it is still in research and development phase when it comes for commercial usage. So we require huge investment and participation from private sector. So that is one of the challenge. Um,
Mhm.
and third, I believe, ma'am, because we are already focusing a lot on energy transition. So there are multiple focus on, for example, ethanol blending fuel and solar, wind. So it faces huge competition from all the other non-conventional sources of energy too, when it comes to
Mhm.
full-scale development.
And the goal that we have set for ourselves,
Yes, ma'am.
the availability of electrolyzers is there. That's not an issue at all.
Sorry, ma'am. I will have to read it more upon it.
All right. So my last question to you, what is the IMEC? It was in the news for a long time. And compare it with the Belt Road Initiative.
Ma'am,
What are the participants? What is the goal? What are challenges?
Ma'am, IMEC is India Middle East Europe corridor, which was recently launched during the G20 event in New Delhi. It is a connectivity project which connects three continents. Sorry, ma'am, which connects two continents, Asia and Europe. Uh, Ma'am, it is being seen as counter to Belt and Road Initiative of China.
So just
Uh,
tell me two similarities and two differences, if you can.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one of the similarity is that it focuses on connectivity projects, energy projects. So Belt and Road Initiative is also doing the same. Second, ma'am, BRI and IMEC both is a maritime and land-based infrastructure projects. Second, and ma'am, the differences between the two is um, in BRI, only China is in like a major player, and it is investing. It is trying to revive the old Silk Route through its own investments, which is leading to debt trap diplomacy. But in case of IMEC, it is more liberal and it is more collaborative in approach. Um,
Okay, very good, very good. Now, what are the challenges it faces? Some are very obvious already.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one of the challenges which was anticipated also was the unstable Middle East region, especially in the context of recent Israel-Hamas war. And the president of Turkey also like said that without like many countries were not included in the project, so there were certain opposition to it from the countries in the region. Second, ma'am, in the past also we have seen some of the projects like Blue Dot Network and uh, if I am not wrong, there was one more initiative by G7 to counter BRI, which has been a non-starter. So the implementation of the new IMEC project is to be seen whether it will be successful or not.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Verma, please.
Yeah, Ankit,
Yes, sir.
comfortable you are?
Yes, sir.
I see you have gone up to interview twice.
Sir, this is my second time, sir.
This is your second.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what went wrong the first time?
Sir, I would not say it went very bad because the marks were like above average, but
Hmm?
I could have still improved a lot in some of the aspects while interlinking some of the topics which were mentioned in my DAF, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you did not do enough on your dev.
Not DAF, sir. There is a lot of things related to technology in my DAF, and there was a console gaming as my hobby, sir. So
Okay.
I,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fine. Hmm. So you are a mechanical engineer. So
yes,
we start from something very basic.
yes, sir.
Why is differential used in automobiles?
Sorry, sir. I have to read more on this.
What is differential?
Sorry, sir. I'm not aware of it.
Okay, fine. You see bullet trains,
Yes, sir.
super fast trains, bullet trains.
Yes, sir.
So there is a special provision in their suspension.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. What is that?
Sir, I'm not exactly sure about it, but if you allow me to take a guess,
Okay, go ahead.
sir, I think the suspensions are for two reasons. One is the safety for train accidents, and second, it could be for the better experience of the passengers when the train is stopping at a station and train is stopping at the station.
Any, any other reason?
Sorry, sir.
Does
I,
it connects with centripetal and centrifugal forces?
yes, sir. It can be one of the reasons. Sir. Thank you, sir.
So how will centripetal force or centrifugal force work when a train is running at a super fast speed, and how will a good suspension counter it?
Sir, the balance between the force will help the bullet train to maintain its high speed, and at the same time, it will allow it to remain on track, avoiding any detracking of the train. So,
Well, Ankit, I will come back on this because you are a mechanical engineer. I was expecting a better answer from you, and this is your second attempt. You must not miss it.
yes, sir.
You are from Odisha.
Yes, sir.
What were the reason for Naxal problem starting in Odisha?
Sir, Naxal problems origin in Odisha is multi-pronged, sir. One of the reason it is different from the Naxalism in Bihar and West Bengal. So it is more lies in the mining and the tribal um, uh, development, sir. Second, sir, it was more of a top-down approach also when it came to spreading the Naxal ideology in Odisha. So there were a few leaders who were mainly responsible for that. So once the Odisha government brought the surrender and rehabilitation policy and deal with those leaders, the incidents have come down significantly in the state of Odisha, sir.
Oh, it is coming down everywhere. It has come down in Madhya Pradesh. It has come down in Andhra. It has come down drastically in Bihar,
Yes,
also
sir.
in Jharkhand. So, Naxal problem as such is on decline.
Yes,
That
sir.
was not my question. My question was, why did it start in the state of Odisha?
Yes, sir.
You gave two reasons. One was connected with the mining,
Yes, sir.
and second was
Sir, second was the development of some of the Naxal leaders in Odisha,
development.
their increasing popularity among the western districts in
Increasing
Odisha.
popularity. Okay, that's the reason. Hmm. So, not okay. We move on. You are connected with this juvenile things?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Juveniles who are on the wrong side of law, who are in conflict with law,
Yes, sir.
are not sent to prisons.
Yes, sir.
They are instead sent to where?
Sir, according to my limited knowledge, under the Juvenile Justice Care Act 2015, which was amended in 2015, the children who are above the age of 16 and below the age of 18, in case of heinous crimes, they are assessed by Juvenile Justice Board instead of the regular, according to the regular procedure, sir, instead of regular procedure.
The regular courts.
Yes, sir.
They are tried by Juvenile Justice Board, which is headed by a judicial magistrate and assisted by some non-judicial members.
Thank you, sir.
Now, my question was, juveniles who are in conflict with law,
Yes, sir.
serious or not that serious, are not sent to jail. They are sent to somewhere else. They are not put in the jails, prisons, as we know.
Yes, sir.
They are not sent to the jail, they are put in observation homes.
Yes, sir.
They are more in the nature of shelter homes.
Yes, sir.
So what is the logic? उन्हें जेल क्यों नहीं भेजते हैं, उन्हें ऑब्जर्वेशन होम में क्यों रखते हैं?
Sir, when the law came in, the reason given for this was that we need to do the psychological assessment of these childs, whether they are capable of doing the crimes which they have committed, like were they conscious about doing this, and in the future, if the punishment is not given to them, are they capable of repeating the same? So it is something related to psychological assessment of this child, which can be assessed, and then they can be trialed in the regular court, sir.
Psychological assessment can be done anywhere. It can be done in a psychiatry department of a medical college, or it can be done in the hospital of a regular prison.
Yes, sir.
It does not answer that question. Why in observation homes?
Sir, in observation homes, there has been a specific programs, and there
Clear. Think with your mind. Don't try to recall what you have read.
Sir, I think because first
Very
of all,
common, ordinary thing. गलत संगत में नहीं रखना चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
Think normal.
Yes, sir.
बच्चे को गलत संगत में मत रखो. Don't send them in the prisons. वो बच्चा है अभी.
Yes, sir.
Hardened criminal हो जाएगा.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
देखो, why I am telling it? What you are trying to do is you are trying to recall what you have read somewhere.
Yes, sir.
You are not thinking with your mind.
Yes, sir.
Hence, children are not sent to the jail. They are put in the observation homes.
Yes,
They are given the family kind of setup there. खेलो, TV देखो,
Yes, sir.
enjoy music, enjoy yoga.
Yes, sir.
Many of them live good life in observation home. Then,
Yes, sir.
okay. So the point which I want to tell you is think with your mind. Don't try to recall.
Okay, sir.
Interview board, they will read your mind.
Okay, sir.
Instead of thinking with your mind, you are trying to recall what you read somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now moving away from juvenile thing or the West Bengal Odisha thing or that mechanical engineering thing. Okay, this Article 370 was in the news recently.
Yes, sir.
It is always in the news, but it was for a good reason. It was in the news, and now Article 370 is a matter of past. So what happened?
Sir, the Supreme Court passed a judgment that the removal of Article 370 was justified, and the process was also legal. The way in which it was removed, sir.
Choice of word. You are an educated person. It was abrogated. It was nullified. It was removed.
Yes, sir.
Removed.
So what was it?
Sir, it was abrogated, sir. Article 370.
I have a different way. It was nullified.
Yes.
I may be wrong. You can challenge me.
Sir, the provisions of Article 370 were nullified. Like it's stopped. Like the provisions stopped acting in case of law, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Checker?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's talk about console gaming. Right. I think that's more fun to talk about. Okay. So which which of the games you play? Right. Can you just name a few?
Sir, I was more into a football, so I used to play FIFA.
Okay. On
And
PS3, PS4,
sir, in PS4. And
PS4.
sir,
Okay.
sometimes I used to play the strategy and adventure game like The Last of Us, which for which one movie also came recently.
Okay.
And
So
sir,
there's a very famous game called Call of Duty. Which company makes it?
sir, I have never played it
Call
because
of Duty. Yeah, your friends would have played, right?
yes, sir, my friends would have
Okay.
played it.
Okay. So Call of Duty, the company name is right, Activision Blizzard. Okay. And it was acquired by one of the big IT giants. Can you name that? The reason I was asking is this. So which company acquired Activision Vision? Activision Blizzard.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it. I will read on
Okay,
this.
no problem, no problem. Okay, so how do you see the gaming industry, forming in India, right? And what's your view on that?
Sir, gaming is one industry which can be called sunrise sector in the future because it is currently at $2 billion, which is expected to grow to $8.7 billion by 2030, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a huge growth. And the India is also famous for many indigenous games which we have produced for mobile phones like Ludo
Mm-hmm.
King, others. And India also has the highest number of gamers, more than USA and China.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, sir, I think with the coming up of esports also, and
Mm-hmm.
government recognizing it as a tradition
Now
in the
you
land.
opened the esports area, and the Asian Games had some esports this time around, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you name which all, you know, areas for esports they played in the Asian Games?
Sir, the games I am not aware of, but I
Mm.
have read that India has done well, and one of the person from India has also received bronze medal in
Okay.
one of the games of esports.
Okay. Right. Uh, Now, do you think this is making, the modern day ailments like diabetes, like obesity, etc. Do you think esports encourage that?
Sir, certainly esports has some disadvantages, which includes this sedentary lifestyle, which can
Mm-hmm.
create issues of obesity and diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
But sir, we have to see esports cannot be the only reason for this, sir, because it also depends on what is the eating habits of child.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is a need to address this issue linking both gaming and eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, sir, we need to balance it somewhere with esports and also traditional sports. Like we have to promote both of them side by
Mm-hmm.
side to address this issue.
Right. There is something called as Gran Turismo, right? GT. And there is some GT Academy. Have you heard about it?
No, sir.
Okay. Right. In FIFA, there's always a controversy every year about the details, the parameters of the players in FIFA, right? And there are also controversies regarding, right, in the privacy rights of various players. So, can you comment on that?
Sir, as a FIFA game is produced by some private company, there can
Mm-hmm.
always be some subjectivity as like everyone can assess the skills of player differently.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, many players do not agree with the parameters and ratings which they receive in the
Mm-hmm.
game. And sir, when it comes to privacy, there are issues when it comes to the some of the famous players and some of the famous football clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yes, as a privacy issue is there, and ratings are also very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one aspect of game which FIFA is continuously trying to improve upon in their subsequent versions.
Okay, right. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Ankit,
Yes, sir.
how is
Well,
Q
Ankit,
how is Q math different from Byju's?
Sir, QMath and Byju's are quite different because for example, sir, QMath is like aggregator of teachers. For example, when I was working in QMath, I used to try to bring the talents who can teach the students in a gamification way. So I think, sir, it is more fun way of learning maths and through gaming experiences and through more practical experiences.
Is it profitable still?
Um, Sir, I'm not aware of the revenue and balance sheet thing
Okay.
right.
No, no, not an issue. What is teardrop diplomacy? Or to what country would it pertain to? Teardrop.
Um, Sorry, sir, I have not come across this term.
What country looks like a teardrop in our neighborhood, India's neighborhood? If you look at that country, it resembles a teardrop.
Sir, I'm not clear about the term teardrop, so I'm unable to relate it with.
Sri Lanka, does Sri Lanka look like a teardrop?
Sir, I'm not like clear on the term teardrop, sir.
Not an issue.
Maybe.
What makes Sri Lanka so vulnerable compared with other island nations? I would say, let's say if we compare Sri Lanka with Singapore, Sri Lanka has become very vulnerable, both politically and economically. But while Singapore has leaped ahead, what could be the difference?
So can I think on this?
Sure, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, there can be several reasons, starting with, sir, one, um, we are seeing the increasing warming of the Arabian Sea region and the uh, Western Indian Ocean region, for which Sri Lanka faces higher threat of sea level rise than Singapore. Sir, second reason could be it's that the port infrastructure is not that developed as compared to Singapore. So it is unable to leverage its position between the Suez Canal area and the Malacca Strait, sir. So that is another reason, sir. Third is Sri Lanka is being used by China to like encircle the India through the BRI initiative.
Okay, I'll put it differently. What makes a nation great? Can you differentiate between a nation and a country?
Sorry, sir. I'm unable to come at the exact difference right now. But if you allow me, I can try from my limited.
Sure. Please go. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I think a nation has a certain level of objectives, common objectives in their mind, which they want to achieve collectively, despite having lot of diversity when it comes to culture or when it comes to
Okay.
like economic condition of the people.
Okay.
So I think, sir, there is one of the now I can link it with Sri Lanka that there is some sort of challenges internally in Sri Lanka. For example, the Tamilian civil war was going on for a long time in the past.
And let's say I'm coming back to India now. What is the role of bureaucracy in making a nation great?
Sir, bureaucracy has a major role to play as it implements the policies of the government at ground, and it ensures the last mile delivery to the people. So it is directly involved in uplifting the vulnerable section of society. Yes, sir, and India being India has a huge population which are below poverty line. So I think bureaucracy will play a major role.
Last couple of questions. Do you think India can make it to World Cup finals, World Cup this time?
Sir, FIFA World Cup 2026.
Can it qualify for the World Cup?
Sir, being a football fan and being an optimistic football fan, I would like to believe that India can because of a few reasons. One is the next version of FIFA World Cup has expanded from 32 teams to 46 teams.
Right.
So it provides a greater opportunity. Sir, second, the new coach which India has hired, he has had some longevity in that position, and he has a clear vision, sir. And
Okay.
sir, third reason is our grouping is also favorable to us, sir.
Okay. And last question. Why do you think we are called Indian subcontinent? Is it because of the geography or because of the culture?
Sir, I think it is because of both geography and culture, sir. Because, sir, we have a natural boundary in terms of Himalayas and the Indian Ocean. So
Okay.
it brings a geographical continuity among the nations. Second, sir, we have had like similar history in the past, and geography and history together have
Oh,
shaped
that's
our
it.
culture.
Sure. That's it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ankit, that brings us to the end of the formal interview. How do
Mhm.
you think it went? What were the pluses? What were the minuses?
Ma'am, like it was my first, like second mock interview in the today, and overall, so I was little nervous and like I'm not very well versed with some of the current affairs till now. Um, and ma'am, in some places I'm trying to guess the answers despite not knowing exactly what the exact answer is.
Anything else?
Um, I'm smiling less, I guess.
No, that's all right. Okay, I'll give you my assessment.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I thought that you improved somewhat over the course of the interaction. The early part of it, my part, uh, I was frustratingly trying to get you to the point.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
beat about the bush and beat about the bush and beat about the bush. This can be a killer. And the
Yes,
irony was that some of the times you're beating about the bush, you knew the answer. So
yes,
the
ma'am.
presumption normally is when a person is beating about the bush that they don't know the answer. But in your case, I don't know. Some of them it foxed me why you were doing that, unless you love the sound of your own voice. But it happened. The second thing was linked to the first. You were so verbose. You know, your motto is, why say in a word if I can speak a sentence? It should be the reverse. Be as pithy as you can. The longer you speak, the less the attention of the board you will capture. Secondly, you will lose the opportunity to get some further favorable questions which you could have had. Because, one gets frustrated. All right, that's enough. Don't want to ask him more. He's going to answer 20 sentences when he can answer in 4. Remember that. Brevity is the soul of wit. Okay, then your prioritization of your answers. Things just tumble down. This specifically struck me when we were talking about the green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, gray hydrogen. You had it somewhat there. You said storage, no doubt, storage is a problem. But an even bigger problem is that we have pitched targets which we don't have capacity for. If you take the total global production of electrolyzers, it is not enough to meet India's goals itself in the mission that we have launched last year. So you must not only be, I mean, I grilled you on that because geography is your subject and these are topical issues. So I did go only on that lane in depth. So I found that even where you knew somewhat, you were not coming. Think a moment, prioritize structure your reply. If the three things come together, not coming to the point, being verbose, and when you're at the point also saying the least important thing first, the board loses its patience. So even your knowledge base is reasonable. You're pretty okay, but you don't come across as good as you are, which is a tragedy. You should actually come across better than you are. My father was also an IS officer's advice to me was, you're a fool, don't let the board know it, talk less. So that was his assessment. So anyways, on the lighter side. Now, also I felt another thing. You have a piece of knowledge, but you don't want to apply it. It's like the story of that great person who was a great at astrology and, he all those sciences. And somebody tested it out and asked him, "Mere muthi mein kya hai?" He applied this. He says, "Gol gol cheez hai, usme beech mein ched hai." He says, "Chakki hogi." It was a ring. So how can a chakki come in the palm? You have to apply. A simple question like nation and country. You were reluctant to give, and then you what hit the mark, but you were all over the place. And then he pursued India. Our unity in diversity is a very cliched, but a very appropriate thing. A nation and a country. Anyway, you can prepare that now. But I was just using that as an example. The child labor business was absolutely frustrating for me. What did you say? What did you not say? What were you trying to say? Not clear. I was trying to get you to say 2 points. One is, yes, there should not be child labor, but it is politically also used by countries to oust Indian products. That should not be, that is happening.
Yes, ma'am.
Second, within the country, yes, child labor, you should restrict it, control it, whatever, make better conditions, etc., recognize or whatever. So, I mean, my philosophy is, if you can't fix it, live with it and try to improve it. So you have to calibrate your reply, because morally you cannot say ki child labor is good, but you have to think through. Then on the COP thing, I gave you a hint on methane. Now this is another classic case in point. I said, what? I don't know. I won't hazard guess. Methane, of course, is 40% agriculture. Of course, we don't want methane, but it's mentioned in the draft. Otherwise, as you said, that the phase out is not specific, all that stuff is good. But this has come. And of course, we don't want methane. It's all about national interests. Think about morality. It's all couched in morality. It's not national interest. I mean, the US is the biggest waster of electricity. I done a study in Harvard many, many years ago. And they were using forget the indicator. It is horrifying indicator per person of electricity use. But they are the ones who are preaching to the world now. Now, IMEC in India is okay. You were sort of kind of there. But once again, I will just caution you. Please be to the point. Don't go monosyllabic, but please be brief.
Okay.
Please compose your replies. Please don't guess, but don't be hesitant to apply your knowledge to create an opinion. Like the teardrop business. It's such an obvious thing hitting out there. What else is there? He says neighborhood also. And what is crying? Which economy is crying today? Pakistan, of course, is, but it can't be a teardrop. So, you're reticent about that. You're conservative. Yes, it is good to be conservative. But then where you're asked to do it, have the presence of mind to apply what your knowledge is. And otherwise, you already said about current affairs, you said all that. That is the bread and butter of your interview. That is the bread and butter. You are a reasonably or rather good candidate. But you are an uncut diamond just now. That polishing you have to do in the next couple of days. And you have enough time. You have the optimal time just now. You can certainly do it. And if you've done your mains also better, there is no way that you won't get through.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That sort of chipping away and hammering the diamond. So don't mind the very blunt talk. But that is because we know that there's a diamond sitting below that. Okay? All right, Mr. Verma.
Well, Ankit,
Yes, sir.
before I go to the specific, let me tell you, you need to give training to your mind to frame good answers.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
जैसे तमिल क्राइसिस, तमिलनाडु, श्रीलंका पे कुछ बातचीत हो रही थी, and one of the reason you quoted was Tamil Civil War.
Yes, sir.
It was over in 27 or 28, 207 or 208.
Okay, sir.
And it is 2023.
Yes, sir.
So don't bring thing which is over long back.
Okay, sir.
Current problem is economic meltdown.
Yes, sir.
They don't have money even to buy fuel. India helped them with the fuel. Okay. So you need to frame good answers.
Okay, sir.
So for this, you need to train your mind to give good answers. So one exercise which I can suggest to you is, you jot down the possible questions which may be asked to you from current affairs, from your TAF, from your academic background. Not too many, but good enough.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now start thinking without referring to any resource material. With your mind, with your recall memory. And start in the bullet form, you start writing the points. If this question comes to me, these are the points which I will use to compose my answer.
Okay.
Then tick the one which are more relevant, cross the one which are less relevant.
Okay, sir.
Now with this resource material before your eyes, now think of framing a good answer which should end within a minute.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So work on this. All right, you need it.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the specific, like you are a mechanical engineer.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you cannot answer what is this differential thing,
Yes, sir.
or why, how is suspension becomes very important when anything which is moving at a super fast speed, maybe a racing car or maybe a bullet train.
Yes, sir.
Do you drive car?
No, sir.
You travel in car?
Yes, sir.
So if the driver takes turn at a high speed, what happens? The
Sir,
vehicle becomes unstable
yes, sir.
because the centrifugal force will operate to overturn the vehicle.
Okay, sir.
Now, to counter the centrifugal force, the vehicle need to turn on the inside.
Yes, sir.
This will happen only if there is a good suspension, otherwise it will not happen and the vehicle will overturn.
Okay.
This will happen with the bullet train.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am telling you to sensitize. पॉइंट पर आना है,
Okay, sir.
जो रेलिवेंट चीज है उस पर आना है और उस पर जवाब देना है.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है, लाइक दिस जुवेनाइल थिंग.
Yes, sir.
नाउ यू मे से 5 6 7 8 पॉइंट्स, लेकिन जब आप बच्चे की बात कर रहे हैं, बी ए बॉय और ए गर्ल, his or her safety and security is neither safe nor secure in a regular prison. There may be n number of pedophiles.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Besides, in the wrong company, he will become a wrong person.
Yes.
A child might have committed crime because of some situational reason.
Yes, sir.
But if you put a child in a regular jail with the hardened criminals,
Yes, sir.
he will be in the wrong company, the worst kind of company.
Yes.
So instead of saying so many things, say the most relevant thing.
Okay.
और ये मोस्ट रेलिवेंट थिंग अक्सर बहुत ही सामान्य होती है,
Yes, sir.
वेरी ऑर्डिनरी. यू डोंट नीड टू गो टू द मैनुअल्स एंड द रूल बुक्स एंड द लॉ.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ankit, you are a good candidate. You will do good.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Varun.
All the best.
Okay. So, Ankit, nothing, I would say that, maybe you could have taken the initiative more initially, right? So there was a lack of initiative from your side.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, the console gaming part, just handle the controversies, just read about them, right? About FIFA, especially because you play that, right?
Yes, sir.
Because there's always a controversy. The licensing agreement ended last year, EA Sports and all, right? So just a conversation about that, right? Though they might not ask. Obviously, the vision of gaming industry. What is the vision of the government of India about that? Right, and the issues regarding gaming in India, right? Obviously, are there. Obviously, Blue Whale is like used to be there, but I mean it's like a little a little in the past, right? Pokemon Go and I think like Blue Whale were the two I think big gaming news which were I think everybody knew about right a few years ago. Right, so that's it. Right, just take more initiative initially. Once like you took some time, you were like back to yourself, but initially
Yes.
it was like that.
And Ankit, they say I'm no authority in correcting anybody's maybe इंग्लिश और समथिंग. एक चीज तुम बहुत यूज करते हो, प्लीज उसको करेक्ट कर लेना, ठीक है? वो ना जैसे सुनने वाले को थोड़ा बार बार ना ध्यान, मतलब मैं तो लास्ट इंसान हूँ जिसके बारे में कोई बोले ऐसा, तो जो किसी के बारे में ऐसे बात करूँ, तो जैसे ना when we use this phrase one of the जैसे वन ऑफ द चैलेंजेस है ना, तो चैलेंज नहीं, वन ऑफ द चैलेंजेस. जैसे मेरे दोस्तों में से एक दोस्त है वन ऑफ द फ्रेंड्स, शहरों में से एक शहर है वन ऑफ द सिटीज, है ना, तो वो प्लूरल लगाता है एंड में बस, ठीक है? अदरवाइज तुम जैसे से जो, क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास मुझे तो लगता है बहुत ही बढ़िया कंटेंट है बोलने के लिए, यू हैव अ लॉट टू शेयर, एंड आर्टिकुलेशन एक्सेट्रा सब बढ़िया है। और जैसे सभी को ही जो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एडवाइस है वो तुम्हारे को भी काम आनी चाहिए, वो यही है कि मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग फर्स्ट, है ना, कि जो बहुत जैसे ना जो बोर्ड में बैठे ना सभी वहां पर, वो बहुत सारे बच्चों को देख रहे हैं, आपकी जिंदगी का सबसे महत्वपूर्ण सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डे है, लेकिन जो बोर्ड मेंबर्स हैं उनके सामने तो जो 10 बच्चे आएंगे पूरे दिन के, तो इसीलिए आपको अपनी इंपॉर्टेंस वहां पे अपनी प्रेजेंस फील करवानी है, तो इसीलिए आपको अपना बेस्ट तो देना ही है। और अगर आप बहुत सारी बातें करोगे तो दिक्कत हो जाती है, तो इसीलिए यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी प्रिसाइज एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग फर्स्ट, है ना, जैसे आप तो टाइम भी ले रहे हो ना टू 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 थिंक अबाउट स्टफ, तो वो टाइम लेके मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग हैज टू बी फर्स्ट, दैट्स इट, कि दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव टू ऑफर। तो और उसके बाद फॉलो अप जो चीजें, और ऐसा जैसे ना नेशन और कंट्री में तो मैंने ऐसे ही पूछ लिया जो करते करते, लेकिन नेशन और कंट्री में एक नेशन एक साइकोलॉजिकल फीलिंग होती है, साइकोलॉजिकल, वी, द वर्ड वी डिफाइंस नेशन। ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि कंट्री इज अ जोग्राफिकल कंस्ट्रक्ट, है ना, तुम ज्योग्राफी के स्टूडेंट तो इसलिए बन जाता है, जोग्राफिकल कंस्ट्रक्ट इज अ कंट्री, कि ये बाउंड्री लगी हुई है इंडिया पाकिस्तान की, लेकिन बहुत से लोग हैं आज भी फील करते हैं कि अरे वो पाकिस्तान में वहां मेरा घर था, यहाँ पे वो था, तो एक लॉन्ग सेंस ऑफ उसमें देखें हिस्ट्री में तो एक नेशन की फीलिंग डेवलप हो जाती है, नागालैंड के कुछ लोग उधर रहते हैं, कुछ इधर, नागालिम, है ना, जो जैसे बन जाती है, तो वो नेशन इज अ वी फीलिंग, वी, जब वो वीनेस आ जाती है। कंट्री तो जोग्राफिकल कंस्ट्रक्ट है, देन स्टेट एंड एटसेट्रा, गवर्नमेंट, है ना, ये 4-5 जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, लेकिन नीड नॉट गो देयर। तो इसीलिए ब्यूरोक्रेसी का रूल तो बहुत जरूरी है, स्टार्ट मे बी थिंकिंग ऑन दैट टू, ठीक है, तो ब्यूरोक्रेसी ही बनाती है नेशन, वी फीलिंग लेकर आएगी और उसको जोड़ के रखेगी, एग्जीक्यूशन एक्सेट्रा। तो ठीक है, बाकी सब बढ़िया है, तो वो वाला एक वन ऑफ द, क्योंकि तुम यूज बहुत कर रहे थे वन ऑफ द, तो इसलिए मुझे लगा कि वो तुम उसको करेक्ट कर लो, तो क्यों 5-10 नंबर अगर लूज करें वहां पर, क्यों करें, है ना, वो वाले तो बचाने चाहिए। और बाकी तो आई गेस कि नॉलेज में तो कोई कमी नहीं है, पक्का गारंटीड कमी नहीं है, दैट्स इट।
Okay, Ankit, that's enough from us. Anything you'd like to ask or say or something?
Ma'am, I have only two questions. One is, ma'am, in the last year, last interview, one of the common feedback was this only, that you said, get to the point. So I generally face this issue because I try to go in the format of
Everything you know you want to put in.
I'm little bit having a mains tendency, like I will start with introduction, then I will come to the point.
That's a very Indian tendency. We
Yes.
want to write everything we know.
Yes,
That's a very Indian tendency. No, but it is really important, you know. And when you get into the service, the higher up you go, you will realize that you have to say the same thing very briefly. You have to meet the PM, you have got 5 minutes. If you start beating about the bush, you're finished. So too, the board's concentration will go. So my suggestion is write down your points.
Yes.
Prepare. You have the time, prepare. Structure your thoughts and prepare topics.
Yes.
In order of importance. And when you speak also, there was a moment. If 3 points are coming to you, prioritize quickly and say the most important.
Ma'am, second question is regarding prioritization only, because when someone asks me question, then I get a feel that, okay, I know 3 good points, but when I start speaking and when I reach the second point, the third points become very generic. Like I forget the third important point. I try to give some generic answer in that. Like after
2 points, say only 2 points. If the third is not needed, not needed. If you can say your thing as pithily as possible, say everything, that's the best thing. You don't have to say 3 points or 4 points or 5 points. If it can be said in 2 points, very good.
Okay.
Not at all. But structure, prepare a little bit. You're reading up papers, this, that, and the other. Prepare topics. Everything to your DAF and this, that, current affairs, blah, blah, all that stuff, you know. And just prepare them. I mean, you may know the answers, but it's good to write them out and structure them point-wise. Then it'll help you prepare for the interview and you'll recall it then. Rather than having to think that time, you've already done the thinking beforehand.
Yeah. Okay.
That will be helpful.
During interview, if you are not able to recall something which you wanted to say,
Yes. Yes, sir.
don't get bogged down with it.
Okay, sir.
उसके बाद भी तो क्वेश्चन पूछे जाएंगे. Focus on them.
Okay, sir.
There will be chairman plus 4.
Yes.
So there will be more than 10 questions. If you're not able to answer one, or you wanted to say 2 things and you forgot one thing and could answer only one thing. So
Yes,
don't get bogged down with that.
Okay, sir.
उसको माइंड से बाहर निकाल दो. आगे जो आगे क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है उस पर ध्यान दो.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. All the very best to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Ankit.
Okay. All the best.